My dad gave my trust fund to my sister at dinner, so I finally told him the truth. My dad dropped it like it was nothing, right after Mom set the roast beef on the table, his favorite. He didn't even look at me as he sliced it neat and slow. Phoebe's proven she's more responsible, he said, so the trust fund is going to her, and she'll manage it better. I froze, with my fork halfway up. I was 25, and I'd spent my whole life feeling like the backup daughter, and now he was saying it over dinner like it was a weather report. Dad added, "You'll be fine, since you're going to be a doctor." Responsible? I said. Like when she crashed your Mercedes into the neighbor's fence? Or when you paid 30 grand for rehab last year? Mom shot me a warning look, the one that meant, please don't start. Dad's jaw tightened. Your sister overcame her challenges, he said. She's found her path. I stared at it. Her path? Phoebe had been handed a spot in Dad's real estate business after I'd asked 3 different times and got shut down. The first time he told me, focus on school. The second time he said, you'd be a distraction. The third time he ignored me. But Phoebe moved back home, started showing up at his office, and suddenly she was helping. She got the corner office, the company car, and now my inheritance. Meanwhile, my path was medical school, residency, and 80-hour weeks trying to become a surgeon. What about me? I asked. I'm working myself to the bone. Dad finally looked up like I was being dramatic. That was your choice, he said. Phoebe chose family. He said it like it was a compliment. Mom kept her eyes on her plate, like if she didn't look up, none of this was real. The room felt tight and quiet, like even the air was waiting. The words hit hard. I called home all the time, but it never counted because I wasn't living under his roof. I'd spent my whole childhood chasing his approval. Straight A's, honor roll, scholarships. I worked weekends while Phoebe partied, failed classes, and dropped out again and again. But she moved back home at 28, smiled at dinner, and suddenly she was the good one. My chair scraped the hardwood as I stood up. You want to talk about independence? I said. I paid my own way through medical school because you told me I needed to learn it. I took loans and picked up shifts. I bought my own car. I paid my own rent. And you've been covering Phoebe's life for a decade. Dad lifted his hand like he could shut me off. That's enough, he snapped. No, I said, keeping my voice steady, even though I was shaking inside right then. You're not punishing Phoebe for messing up. You're punishing me for doing well without you, for proving I don't need your money or your approval. Mom started to speak, then stopped. She looked at Dad and said quietly, Quincy, please, let her finish, using his name like a warning. That's when Phoebe appeared in the doorway, like she'd been listening. She walked in wearing a designer dress Dad had bought her last week and diamond earrings that probably cost more than my car. Go on, she said, sliding into her chair with a smile. Tell us how unfair your life is. I looked at her. Really, look. Her posture was relaxed, and her smirk said she already won. The funny part, I said, is I actually feel sorry for you. Her smile twitched. Excuse me? She said. You're 30, I said, and you've never earned anything without Dad holding it up for you. You don't even know who you are without his money. Phoebe's face flushed. I run his company, she snapped. You have the title, I said. Other people do the work. You just show up and take credit. Dad slammed his palm on the table, hard enough to rattle the plates. That's enough disrespect, he shouted. I let out a short laugh. Disrespect, I said. You raised one daughter to be strong and independent, then you punished her for becoming exactly that. You raised the other to stay helpless, then you reward her for never growing up. My hands were trembling now, so I grabbed my purse from the counter just to have something to hold. Keep the money, I said. All of it. Dad's eyes widened, like he couldn't believe I'd say that. Mom's lips parted, but no words came out. I walked to the door, and Mom whispered my name, but she didn't move. I turned back one last time. And Phoebe, I said, when you can't tell what's coming in and what's going out, don't call me to fix it. I'll be busy saving actual lives. I pulled the door open, felt the cool air hit my face, and I walked out before anyone could answer.